Who is the Muslim for Jannah? I will start by discussing the motivation for this topic. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, Sari'u ila maghfiratin min rabbikum wa jannah. You should struggle, you should strive for forgiveness from Allah and the gardens, the paradise. That is the motivation. Allah is asking us to strive. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. You were created only to strive, to worship. That is the first motivation. The second motivation, after Allah in another verse mentioned the characteristics of the believers, He said, وَفِي ذَلِكَ فَلْيَتَنَافَسِ الْمُتَنَافِسُونَ. Is that not? He says, in that regard, in these beautiful things of paradise, you should compete. You should compete, because we're going to see that the Jannah has levels. And he said, if you ask for Jannah, ask for the best Jannah, the Firdaus. In another verse, in Surah Al-Saffat, he says, after mentioning some properties of Jannah again, he says, "Inna hadha lahuwa al-fawzul azim." He said, this is the greatest success. لِمِثْلِ هَذَا فَلْيَعْمَلِ الْعَامِلُونَ. For this kind of success, let us work, let the people work to achieve this success. Now, the next hadith I want to quote is a hadith I want you to remember throughout this Ramadan. It's a hadith that anytime I remember it, I feel I may not go to Jannah. وَلِيَعَذُ بِاللَّهِ. It's a hadith narrated by Abu Hurairah radiyallahu anhu in Sahih Bukhari. Hadith number 6529 in Sahih Bukhari, in the English version. Abu Hurairah narrates that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the first man that Allah will call on the day of judgment is Adam, Prophet Adam. And Allah will show him to us and tell him, these are your children. And Allah will say to Allah, praising him, labbaik wa sa'daik. Then Allah will command Adam, take from amongst your children the people of hellfire. And Adam will say, oh Allah, how many should I take out as the inhabitants of hellfire? And Allah will tell Adam, take out of every 100, 99. Take out of every 100, 99. So imagine they are calling people in one group of hundreds. They call your name and they call Abu Bakr as-Siddiq in the same group. You know, say you want to finish. But that's not the end of the hadith. The hadith gave us some hopes. And that is why we are talking today. That is why we are going to discuss about Jannah today. The way you screamed, out of every 100, take out 99, that was the same way the Sahaba screamed when they heard the hadith. They said, oh Rasulullah, if we take 99 out of every 100, then where do we belong? And then the Prophet said, don't forget, by the way, this is not part of the hadith, I'm going to complete it. The children of Adam include even the non-Muslims, okay? So the Prophet said, my ummah, compared to the children of Adam, is like a white hair, a strand of white hair, placed on a big, dark ox. So that is the hope. We are less than 0.0001% of the ummah. That is the little window of hope that we have. When the Sheikh started and he was speaking Arabic, I thought they wanted to turn the lecture into an Arabic lecture. I would have been excited. Like he said, he was speaking your language after the hadith, and he said, you understood? All you have said is yes, and you would have just sat down because you've already understood. Right? Khair, inshallah. May Allah bless the Sheikh for the beautiful lecture. And it's time to connect that lecture to what we have for you today. The Prophet ﷺ said in the hadith, we are still discussing the motivation, why we want to talk about the Muslim for Jannah. He said when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the Jannah, he called Angel Jibreel and said, I have made this place called Jannah. Go take a look at it and tell me what you think. Jibreel went there and came back and said, oh Allah, is so beautiful, magnificent job. It's awesome. I don't think there is anyone who will hear about it that wouldn't want to go inside. Everybody will enter it. He said, okay, good. Allah went back. And Allah surrounded Jannah with hardships, with difficulties, with death, with a lot of things that we can handle. And then he asked Jibreel, go take a look at it again. Jibreel went and came back. He said, Allah, with the way it is now, I don't think anyone can make it. He did the same for hellfire. Angel Jibreel went to check out the hellfire and came back. He said, Wallahi, I saw the hellfire burning itself. It burns, it's part of it eats other parts. It consumes part of it in parts. I don't think there is anyone who would see it or hear about it that would want to go into it. And then Allah went back and surrounded it with desires, beautiful things, things we like, worldly things, the distractions. And then he told him, go check it out again. And Angel Jibreel went and came back and said, Allah, with the things I see surrounding this hellfire, I think everybody is going to go inside. May Allah not make us among those who are already going inside the hellfire and we are still alive. Now, this Jannah we are talking about, we have the Muslim for Jannah. So I'm going to start by defining the terms. Who is the Muslim and who is Jannah, or what is Jannah, and then who is the Muslim for Jannah? The Prophet ﷺ said, the last man that will enter paradise is a man whom Allah will tell, go into paradise. And the man will say, but everybody they already enter now. No space for me again. Allah will say, do you want to have the kingdom of one of the monarchs that you ever known on earth? He said, yes, I would love that. He said, would you want another of that? Another of that? Another. Allah kept mentioning till the 5th time. He said, Allah, that one is not for me. Allah said, then I will give you times 10 of that. And that is the smallest Jannah. You know, 20 years ago, physicists, they thought they have known everything in the universe. Why copper is red, why the sky is blue, why the quantum atoms behave the way they do. We knew all about quantum chromodynamics. We knew all about, the expansion of the universe, the Big Bang. And physicists were proud. Scientists in general, they were like, we know 96% of the whole world. And it increased them. When they get to this level, it increases them in their kufr. They start saying, now we are getting closer to answering everything that happens in the world, so there is no God. Just right about the time that we are making all these achievements, that was when we developed telescopes that could see beyond our galaxy. We could see even beyond the galaxy closest to us, the Andromeda, and we could see far beyond other galaxies. Guess what we found? The earth, as we see it, is a small ball compared to the sun. The sun will take about 200 to 1,000 earth inside of it. It's huge. The earth and the sun system is called a solar system. The planets going around the star. We have other stars like the sun in our galaxy with planets around it. So a solar system, we have other solar systems, we have hundreds of millions of different solar systems in our galaxy alone. And then you have empty space. And then you have another galaxy that looks like ours. A sun, planet, hundreds of millions of them, one galaxy. Another galaxy, we have hundreds of billions of these galaxies. That was when they opened their mouth and said, we think we only know 4% of what we have in the universe. But yet they still disbelieve. So when Allah tells you, I have a Jannah for everyone, He has a Jannah for everyone. May Allah count us amongst the inhabitants of Jannah. Who's a Muslim? Some people will say Islam means peace. Islam does not mean peace. Islam means submission. Aslama, yuslimu, muslimun. Uslima, yuslamu, muslamun. Aslim, islamun. That is the tasrif of the sigha of af'ala. It means to submit to the will of Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah used aslama in the Quran for Prophet Ibrahim. Say, falamma aslama wa tallahu lil jabin. When Prophet Ibrahim told the son, Allah wants me to sacrifice you, the son said, go for it. He didn't hesitate. He didn't say, oh, why now? He said, go for it. And Prophet Ibrahim took the knife and was about to slaughter his son for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He didn't ask Allah, Allah, why now? No. That was when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saw that he has submitted. So he said, falamma aslama. When he saw that both of them submitted, and he was ready to kill him in the altar, فَنَادَيْنَاهُ أَنْ يَا إِبْرَاهِيمُ. We called him, oh Ibrahim, قَدْ صَدَّقَتَ الرُّؤْيَا. You have perfected, you have delivered the dream, or the thing we showed you, the vision we showed you. And he replaced him with a ram. So the question I ask us today is, how many of us have submitted? Before we even talk about the Muslim for Jannah, how many of us are real Muslims? How many of us have submitted to Allah the whole of our lives, the way Prophet Ibrahim did? Huwa awwalul muslimin, the first of the people called Muslims by the name.